Today, we are going to break down the in-season tournament. It starts in a couple days, so it's only right if we talk about each group, West and East, and we're going to give you our predictions for who we think is going to make it out of each group and who's going to win the second annual NBA Cup. So stay tuned for this episode. It's a really good one. But first, we have to talk about Group A in the West. Group A in the West means a lot to us personally because we are all Sacramento Kings fans. So let's give a deep dive into Group A.
Let's do it.
So the 5 teams in Group A are the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Portland Trail Blazers. Before we dive in, let's talk about the standings in the West, where those teams line up. So starting with the Kings, what record are we, Johnny?
We're currently 5-4 after the Clippers loss this Friday night. Currently 5-4, along with a lot of other teams. Timberwolves are sitting 6-3, and yeah.
What about LA?
Clippers are 5-4 as well. Rockets are 5-4, and Trailblazers are 3-7.
Okay, so it looks
we're right
like
in the thick of it.
Group A is, I think, we're very lucky to be in this group.
It's a toss-up.
Out of the 3 groups, this is the group we want to be in because what I see, the only teams that really cause a threat in my eyes, although we just lost to the Clippers, I think it's more of Minnesota and Houston are our toughest matchups.
I agree.
Yeah.
We played terrible tonight.
Yeah. And for the viewers, we're recording this right after the Kings-Clippers loss. But I think that's a benefit to see, hey, the Clippers beat us, but we at least know how they play, how they're going to come at us for the next game.
Yeah, and so far, the Kings, we've seen them play all of these teams except for the Houston Rockets.
Right.
But just based off the Kings versus Rockets history, it has not been good. We do not play well against Houston, especially season.
In Houston.
Yeah. So, RT, what do you think about this group, and what do you think beholds for that future?
I think I really like the Kings' chances to make it out of Group A. I think the 2 biggest games, like you mentioned earlier, are Houston and Minnesota, especially the game against Minnesota, because like it or not, we have struggled against Minnesota at home because that game will be at home.
It's next week. It's next Friday.
Next Friday. And
I'll be there.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big testament game because that game dictates who wins the group. Obviously, there will be wild cards and all that stuff, and obviously there's point differentials and all that. But I think for the Kings, if they want to win this, they've won the group last year. I think the message is win the group again. Get yourself home court advantage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear talent-wise, Minnesota is the best, most talented team in that group, right? Anthony Edwards. Outside Sacramento. But as far as the teams we're going against, Minnesota is the team that we're going to have to worry about the most. But I think we have the benefit of going against them already opening night, and we kind of know what they're going to throw at us. We all know Mike Brown's a stickler with film. We're going to watch film on what they did against us, what worked. And I think we're going to have that benefit and hopefully win in the in-season tournament.
So we play Minnesota a week from today.
Right.
That is a home game for us. I think if we manage Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle and we just let Dante or we let Nickeil Alexander-Walker beat us or just let Rudy beat us, that's something we could live with. But we just need to find a way to limit. We're not going to stop either one of them, but if we could just limit just get them out of their comfort zone, I think that game on Friday, and especially it being an in-season tournament game, Golden One Center is going to put on a show for us to really get the fans involved. I really think that we could come away with a big win against Minnesota.
We match up well against Minnesota, and Sabonis has shown to play well against Gobert. As good of a defensive player he is, he's shown to be a Gobert stopper, as you can say, but it's going to have to come down to stopping Anthony Edwards, and we've seen Keegan Murray throughout the season guard the best player on the opposing team. Obviously, that first game, Anthony Edwards shot 15 3-pointers against us, so we know what he's going to want to do. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to make, like you said, someone else score the ball on that Minnesota team. And whether it's Mike Conley, whether it's Steven Chenza, whether it's Jalen McDaniels, we're going to have someone shoot the ball other than Anthony Edwards. And I think we're capable of doing that.
Yeah, so the 2 home games we have are for the in-season tournament are our next Friday's game against Minnesota, and then later in November we play Houston Rockets. So those are our 2 home games, and the other games are in Houston, in
Portland,
Portland and in LA. So we just saw the Clippers. What do you think we need to do to beat that team? And let's just talk about the Clippers as if they do not have Kawhi Leonard by that point.
Okay, so I think the best way to beat the Clippers is being aggressive. I think what we saw, and we were recording this after Friday's game. Hopefully our offense is better by that time, so that way we are more efficient, more able to just be aggressive on the offensive point, get the star plays in foul trouble, really, really play good defensive mind skills against the role players. And I think that if we do that, that'll help us get that win easily.
It would be shocking if we shoot the same as we did in tonight's
That's
game.
what I'm saying. And shoot better.
There's no possible way that we're going to make only 3 3-pointers against Los Angeles Clippers.
I agree.
I know we're playing in the Intuit Dome in a brand new arena. I think the Kings do great on the road. I think we'll take care of business against the Clippers on their home court. Yeah. Against the wall, that new Intuit Dome wall that Steve Ballmer built, I think that we're going to take that as a challenge, and I think we're going to take care of business in LA.
And if there's something we know as Kings fans is that we play good in Los Angeles.
Yes, we do.
Right? No matter if it's at the Intuit Dome, no matter if it's at the Staples Center, Crypto.com, we play good in SoCal. So I think it'll be a different game than when the Clippers came to Golden One Center.
Yeah, those are 2 definitely Minnesota and LA Clippers. Those are 2 very winnable games for us. And then now that brings us to our home game against the Houston Rockets. Houston's been interesting this year. Alperen Sengun has been having a pretty decent year. Van Vliet has been pretty solid. Jalen Green's been pretty good. Their new rookie, their 3rd overall pick, has not been getting really sustainable minutes. What do you guys think about Houston so far? What have you guys seen from Houston, and what do you think causes issues for us? Is it their defense? Is it one of the Thompson's twins just really getting up on De'Aaron? Like, what do you think it is that caused us trouble in the past, and like, how do you think we're going to move past it?
I think Houston's a lot like the Raptors. They're a very scrappy team. They're a young team that plays very hard. They're athletic. They're going to bring everything at you. You never know if Van Vliet's going to go off. Şengün's obviously a very talented player. Dylan Brooks can obviously go off for 20, 30 points.
And Dylan Brooks is just a pest. Like, he's that type of player that you hate going against, and he loves to get under your skin. But I think we're a mature enough team to not let that affect us.
I think so. And I think we've been through our lumps already. So we played Toronto already. We've gone through stretches where we've played young teams. Portland, right, is a good example. Young teams that don't necessarily have the same amount of talent as us, but just play scrappy and are well coached. I think they're going to be similar to the Raptors, and we've been battle tested to kind of take on that challenge. But at the end of the day, I think we have to stop Şengün because he does so much for their offense. We have to stop Jalen Green from shooting lights out. Dylan Brooks is somewhat of a Kings killer too, as well, right? So I think as long as we bring our offense and we guard the paint and we don't let them get easy shots, because as a young team, if they get comfortable and they start making easy shots on us, that's when their confidence goes up. So if we facilitate and we take care of business early on in the game, I think we have a good chance of beating them.
I agree. I think the one thing that we really need to take care of is being more physical than them, because Houston is a very physical team. They're young, but they have such physicality from Jabari Smith. He can be very physical.
Dylan Brooks
is very physical.
Asar Thompson, my God, that
Asar
guy's
Thompson,
a beast.
Asar Thompson,
player.
Jalen Green can be a pest on the
Steven
defensive
Adams
end.
too, dude.
Steven Adams,
Yeah. He's off their bench.
That team is just very well coached. I mean, Ime Udoka, Kings legend.
He preaches physicality.
Ime Udoka, yes. I hope the Kings just come out and just like out of the gate that game, just be ready to go. So that's our plan. I think that would be a big one for us.
That's going to be a really good game to just test where the Kings are at overall, because I think that will be probably around our 13th to 15th game of the season. So it's going to be a really good chance to see where the Kings really are at.
Yeah.
Because like right now it's too tough to say like where we really think we are. And, they always say like it takes 20 games to really see how a team is going to perform for a full season. But I think this Houston game is going to be a huge test for us. And if we could take care of home court against a tough, gritty Houston Rockets team, that would be amazing to see. And we would all love a win against that
And the Rockets are no slouches. They beat some good teams, right? They beat the Mavericks, right? They beat the Grizzlies, so Grizzlies by 20. So they've shown flashes of being a very good team, and they've matured a lot, obviously, since past years. So we're going to have to bring it. They're not going to be an easy team to beat at all.
I think that's going to be our toughest matchup because Portland, we've played Portland already. Like I said earlier, we've seen 3 out of the 4 teams. Portland But the one thing about Portland is we cannot treat it as we're playing a low-seeded team. You know,
they play hard. They play hard.
Portland plays good. They're well coached. They have really good young players that just want to prove that they're worthy of being in the NBA. So like we really need to treat that team as if
they have nothing to lose when they play. Yeah, exactly what you said.
So I really think the Kings have a very good chance of making out of Group A. I would, because last season, we made it out of our group, and
Group
I really,
C, yeah.
and
the Thunder, Timberwolves.
Yeah, we were in a tougher
Sheesh.
group last season
Very
than we
tough
are this
group.
year.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a different team. All those teams are different. But I think the Kings have a very good chance, and I would love to see Sacramento make it out and get an in-season tournament game in Vegas. So those are our predictions. That was our preview for Group A.
Yeah.
Obviously, as Kings homers, Kings diehards, we really believe that the Kings can make it out.
We have a good group to make it out. We have a good group to make it out. Non-bias aside, I think we have a lot of the good teams in our group we've already seen and we'll be able to learn from, and the weak teams we should be able to take care of. The Trailblazers, the Rockets, we should be able to take care of, and the good teams, the Clippers, the Timberwolves, we've seen already. We can watch the film on, and I feel confident about us.
I feel extremely confident. I would love for the Kings to take care of business.
For sure.
The Kang Gang Pod. We want to go to Vegas. We want
do.
to be there.
I've never been to Vegas.
He's
so
never been
I
to
would love
Vegas.
to go for an in-season tournament.
This guy is
This guy has a residency
veteran.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
So.
This guy's
Yeah,
been to
I do.
Vegas. He knows every bouncer at every club. He knows
Yeah.
he knows everyone
I sure
in Vegas.
do. Shout out Joey Arrow if you're watching this.
Yeah, so this guy knows everyone. So like we want to
He's
go
been
to
to Caesar's
Vegas.
Palace 100 times.
I sure have.
He knows Caesar.
I
He
went.
knows
I went
Caesar.
to my last Thanksgiving. I went to Vegas.
I know you
That's
did.
how much I love Vegas.
Yeah.
Because your
I wanna
residency,
go.
your
I wanna go.
contract just has you going there at least 6 times a year.
Yeah.
So let's make it 7. We really want to go. So if you like this video, if you subscribe to our channel, if you support us in any way, the boys are going to make a Vegas trip. We're going to bring the equipment. We're going to make we're going to bring the
going.
podcast equipment. We're going to have.
If the
we're gonna
Kings
have
make
an
it
event
that
out
far
of
in the
it.
in-season tournament, I think it's due for this
mandatory.
podcast to
It's
go.
mandatory that we go.
And to have a live show in Vegas.
So if
It'd
you
be
want to
phenomenal
see us
content.
go to
Live show in the
Vegas,
hotel room.
live show after the games. If you want to see that, leave a comment down below, like this video, and we will be there. So boys,
Manifest
if
it.
the Sacramento Kings make it out of Group A, where
going.
are we going?
Vegas.
Manifest
We're going to
it.
Vegas, baby.
Our team knows all the spots.
I do.
Our prediction.
I want to get one of those big drinks. One of those big
Oh, yeah.
Fat Tuesdays.
one of those
Yeah.
tall things. Yeah.
This guy needs a Fat
just gonna-
Tuesday.
I'm just going to follow what this guy does.
Yeah, Fat
Yeah,
Tuesday.
he's a professional. All right, on to Group B. On to Group B. We're gonna go quicker now
Yeah.
because we're not as
Short one.
tied to these
Yeah.
teams. Group B. This is still in the West. OKC Thunder, Phoenix Suns, Lakers.
40-year-old. 40.
Utah Jazz and San Antonio Spurs. Just hearing those names, who do you think is going to make it out of Group B?
I
Go
think
Spurs, go.
Whoa,
Spurs, go.
whoa, that's
Go
actually
Spurs,
a bold
go.
take.
I would love
That's a bold
that.
take.
If there is one point at the season where Wemby can show that he's grown, I think it's in the tournament.
And the thing I love
just
about
saying, I'm just saying, I think the
I'm
Spurs
gonna
can do
back
it.
you up because the thing I love about the in-season tournament is because teams that have never experienced any type of exciting environment outside of a regular season, this
Yeah.
is where they shine. These are like how Tyrese Halliburton was saying with his young Indiana Pacers team last year. Like this is the most intense. Like these are the most important games we've ever played.
For sure.
So that's why I think young teams are at a higher advantage.
And for Wemby's perspective, he's cooked Chet in every matchup they've had, right?
Except
I
for
think-
this past one
except for
earlier this
one.
year.
But he's going to get up for the next one. So I think the Spurs are going to beat the Thunder. I think Wemby's going to give 80 buckets. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
I think he's going to give 80
I didn't
buckets in
even
their
realize
in-season
that
matchup.
Adam Silver did that on purpose.
I think
when
he
was
did.
when he was shuffling the teams, he's
He
like,
wants Wemby to show out.
We want Wemby and Chet in the same.
For sure.
I didn't even think about that until you brought it up. For sure.
yeah.
You know
yeah.
what? I kind of want to. You know what?
Spurs are my sleeper team
Obviously,
in that group.
like the team on paper, it should be Thunder. But you know what? I want to partner with Johnny on this one. I think San Antonio is going to win Group B. What do you think? What do you think, RT?
I think the Spurs would be, like I said, I think the Spurs would be a very good matchup. But I think the OKC Thunder
Yeah.
are probably. I have to go chalk on this one. I think the OKC Thunder are
That's
just
the favorite. For
They
sure.
are. They are
That's
the
They
favorite.
should
group.
be the favorite.
They
It
should be
should
the
be.
favorite.
It would
but-
be a disappointment if
Especially
they don't.
this year, they played well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I think somehow, I wouldn't be shocked if the Suns won that group. I think the wild card is going to come out of that team. I think that out of that group, because you look at the whole group. There
You're
is
right,
the Suns, there's the Lakers, there's the Thunder, and then there's the Spurs, and then there's Utah. Obviously,
Utah's not making it. I'm
won't
sorry.
make it. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. If you're a Jazz fan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, love
But-
Deontay George, love Kessler,
Love Laurie.
love Laurie.
But
Love
you
Laurie,
guys are
but
not making
Nope.
Y'all are getting last.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
that's brutal.
In that group,
They
y'all
might
get
go.
last.
They might go for
Over
4.
four,
They
yeah.
might go
I
over
wouldn't be
four.
agree with that.
I go lie. Love y'all though.
But I think the wild card will most likely come out of that group. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Lakers make it as a wild card. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Suns make it as a wild card.
I think Suns have a better chance.
Suns, I think, would have a good chance too.
But you know the Lakers are going to want to get that back to back.
They do.
Because you know they don't have anything to look forward to at the end of the season, so they have this to look
yeah,
forward to.
this is their like
Because
this
they're
is their
a playing
title.
team. Lakers are a playing team, so this is
I mean, we know
special
they're
for
a
them.
Mickey Mouse team, so
Yeah.
they love the moral victories. They love the moral championships. So, but LeBron's a year older, so who knows? Maybe he'll take this tournament off and rest up for the playoffs.
Well,
Maybe they'll pull
yeah.
up Brownie from the G League and let him take over. Who knows?
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe they get Mickey
maybe.
Mouse years for this
Yeah,
in-season
maybe.
tournament. Round 2.
But yeah, no, I think that would be my prediction. So what will happen is when we talk about our wild card teams, I will reveal my wild card team.
Yeah. So let's go to Group C. Group C, I think this is the
hardest group.
I think this is the toughest group. We got Denver Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks, New Orleans Pelicans, Golden State Warriors, and the Memphis Grizzlies. I think this is a very stacked group because most of these teams are playoff teams, and all of them have stars on their teams.
Any of those teams can win it.
Any of those teams
Yeah.
can win it.
I have one.
Okay, Archie, who do you think?
I'm going to say the Golden State Warriors are going to win Group C.
Wow.
That's a mic drop.
Wow.
Is it because of Buddy Hield?
It's not because of Buddy Hield. He's part of it, but I think
It's Kyle Anderson, right?
It's yeah, that's it. But in all seriousness, I think what the Golden State Warriors are doing is very impressive. I know we've kind of given Buddy a little bit of slack, but he looks so good.
We were so wrong about Buddy.
We were so wrong.
So far.
It's
So
a
far.
similar offense that when he thrived with Dave Yeager with us. Like the less Buddy Hield has to think, the better a player he is. And Steve Kerr is making it a point where it's like, Buddy, if you get the ball, you pass it within 5 seconds or you shoot the ball. Right? Don't dribble it. Don't put it on the floor. And that's exactly what he's doing, and he's doing great.
Yeah, because when he was with Sacramento, he thought
He's a
he had
dribbler.
too much
He thought
responsibility.
he was a dribbler.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, Golden State Warriors, as of right now, they're playing the best out of the 5.
For sure.
But
For sure.
you obviously can't count out Jokic, Luka. Pelicans are such a toss-up because they're just you never know who's going to be in their starting lineup. You never know.
Trey Murphy will be back by then, most likely. And
And then
yeah.
Ja and Yuki, the 1-2 punch for Memphis, they're playing pretty good right now as well. Doesn't really show too much in the standings, but that's a good team as well. And Ja, he has a lot to prove this year. Group C is such a toss-up. Johnny, who do you think? If you were to choose one team,
I mean, I'll have a wild card. I mean, obviously,
well, you have to pick a team that's going to make it out.
if I had to pick, I'm picking Dallas.
Okay.
I'm picking Dallas. I don't think Denver has showed enough this year to where they're the same Denver Nuggets team in the past. As far as dominance, as far as controlling the game, I think KCP missing them is a huge piece. I think Dallas is battle tested. I think they've shown a lot of signs through the year. I think their offense is gelling with Gafford, Kyrie, and Luka taking turns being that clutch player. If I had to put money on it, I'm going Dallas, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis won it. I wouldn't be surprised if Golden State won it. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver won it. But if I had to put money on a team for Group C, I'm picking Dallas.
I appreciate that answer. Group C is definitely a coin flip. If I were to choose, I gotta go Denver. I'm sorry, Jokic is just you can't.
It's hard to go
against.
You can't
It's hard
go
to go
against.
against
Jokic.
Jokic. Yeah,
One of
That's
the
hard
best
though.
players.
It's hard to go against
I'm very
Jokic.
curious to see.
So we have 3 separate teams. So yeah,
I'm
we'll
very
talk about it
curious
after.
about the wild card. So
Yeah. So the wild card. So yeah, RT, can you explain the wild card?
So
for everyone?
basically, what wild card is basically the wild card is given to somebody that basically has the next best record, and how that works. So if there is a tiebreaker, that tiebreaker works as point differential. So let's take the Golden State Warriors example. If they have a 3-1 record and the Minnesota Timberwolves also have a 3-1 record, if the Golden State Warriors have a higher point differential than the Minnesota Timberwolves, they would be the wild card team and they would move on.
That was the greatest explanation you could have given. So with all the teams in the West, RT, we're going to start with you. Who is your wild card to make it out in the in-season tournament?
I'm going to say the Phoenix Suns are going to be my wild card team to make it out. I really am a big fan of their offense. I really am a big fan of just how they're playing, how they're doing right now. And I think that their group, especially with the way that they have it, I think they have a good matchup against the Lakers. I really like them against the Spurs and the Jazz. I think they lose to the Thunder, so I think the Thunder will be the team that will be undefeated in that group. So I think
you really thought about this because with the point differential,
I did, yeah.
That means you think they're going to kill the Spurs, kill the Jazz. It'll be probably close with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But lose to the
lose to the Thunder. Yeah.
RT, that is a really great choice, Johnny. Who is your wild card for the West?
And this pains me to say because obviously we give Jaw slander for him being De'Aaron Fox's little bro, but they're 6-4 and they've played very good basketball, and I think Jaw has a revenge mindset this year. So my wild card is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. I think if there's a team that shocks us in the in-season tournament or just the West in general, I think it's Memphis and Jaw. I think as much as we give Jaw slack, as much as obviously De'Aaron Fox owns him, I think his mindset. It looks like he's matured a lot this year. It looks like he's put the weapon stuff behind him, all the controversy behind him, and it looks like he's attacking this season with a different mindset. So, not necessarily rooting for him, but I'm watching from afar, and I can see that the Memphis Grizzlies can surprise some people.
To be fair, I think what Johnny's mentioning is that we want the Kings and the Grizzlies to play on national TV, so that way Fox can embarrass Ja.
For sure.
Embarrass him.
But I think the Grizzlies have the potential, and they're well coached, right? I think
Taylor Jenkins is a dog.
He's one of the most underrated coaches in the league, right? As much talent as they have, obviously Jaren Jackson Jr. is who he is, but I think the Grizzlies have the grit, right? Obviously, Memphis is known for their grit and their grind. I think they have the chance to surprise some teams in the West, especially in the season tournament.
So those are your guys' wild cards. Those are both excellent choices. I don't want to pick either of the teams that you chose because what kind of fun is that?
That's not fun.
And I have my own opinion anyway. So I think it's going to be Dallas. I don't think they're going to win Group C, but I think they are going to make it out. I think they're going to go. Actually, no.
You're switch it.
Because Group C is so tough. That's not
really a wild card. That's a fave. That's a favorite. Let's hear a wild card. Let's hear a bold take.
No, I have some bold takes in the East. I like what I'm seeing from the East. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from the West, from the sleeper teams.
I think I might predict yours, but I'm going to say talk about
you know
it.
what? Okay, my sleeper for the West is going to be the Timberwolves.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to suggest.
I think Anthony Edwards in just important games, he knows how to rise to the challenge, and I think they're not going to win because the Kings are going to win Group A.
Yeah,
and he's going to be.
He's built for big moments.
Yeah, so I think point differential will help Minnesota's favor, and I think they will be the wild card. So
I like that.
I like that too.
So
I knew that you were going to go with that too.
So West is going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be so much fun this in-season tournament, especially when it gets to Vegas.
I think we're so spoiled as basketball fans to where the league is so balanced now. It's not just top tier Warriors. I mean, what we were used to. Cavaliers,
almost
Warriors,
every
Cavaliers
team's
were
good
guaranteed
now.
finals.
Yeah,
I think we're so spoiled, the sports fans, as far as we have the most competitive league that we've ever seen in recent memory.
70% of the teams in the NBA are really good.
Exactly.
So
regardless of who wins, it's going to be exciting. And obviously, we're a Kings podcast. We're rooting for the Kings. But at the end of the day, we want to see competitive and good basketball. And I think that's what we're going to get.
I really think so, too. So let's talk about the East. Group A, New York Knicks, Orlando Magic, 76ers, Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets. Who do you guys think is going to make it out alive?
New York Knicks. Move on.
Wow. What about you, Johnny?
I think the Brooklyn Nets.
You took my pick.
I think the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're a gritty team. I think Cam Thomas is a star waiting to happen.
Well coached.
I think
Jordy Fernandez,
future Kings
Jordy
assistant
Fernandez.
coach.
Shout out him.
Dennis Schroeder is playing incredible basketball right now.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is non-existent, which is what we expected. But I think Brooklyn is playing an incredible brand of basketball right now.
But you can't count out the Heat as well, right? You really can't. But I'll let you. I'll let you pick your East team.
Miami's not in that group.
Right.
So.
I thought you were talking about the East in general.
No. Oh, well, we'll get to them. But yeah. So Group A, no one thinks that Charlotte's going to make it out.
Yeah.
No, Charlotte will be a sleeper team.
I think. Sleeper team.
Yeah,
they'll make some noise.
Miles Bridges got that injury though.
They make that noise. Yeah.
Miles Bridges had a little knee injury.
So we got Knicks and Nets right here.
Yeah. It's Battle of New York.
So Group B.
Go New York. Go New York. Go.
Good time to be a New York fan.
I love Brunson so much. Okay, Group B, we have Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana Pacers, Miami Heat, Toronto Raptors, and Detroit Pistons. This is an interesting group because it sounds top-heavy, but the top-heavy teams are not playing how we all expected them to.
Right.
You know, Indiana Pacers coming off of the Eastern Conference Finals appearance, they're not playing as great as they once
The Heat
did.
are 3-5, Bucks are 2-7.
Yeah.
Right.
So like the
Yeah.
top heavy teams are not as great
Dominant
as
as
not as dominant as
past,
we thought. So like this is an interesting group. Obviously, like Dame and Giannis is no one wants to go against them, but historically, or not historically, but as of recently, Indiana plays great against Milwaukee Bucks. They have a little bit of a rivalry, if you guys remember from last year, but that's going to be an interesting matchup. But for some reason, I'm not going to pick Detroit Pistons. I'm going Toronto Raptors. I love how they're playing. All those young guys. This is going to be very important to them.
Yeah.
I think for a young
Think so.
team, the in-season tournament is what makes
They want that
young
$500K
teams
paycheck
better.
for sure. Yeah.
RT, who do you think? My pick is Toronto.
Okay.
What about yours?
I am gonna go with the Indiana Pacers. They've won
Back to
this.
back?
Yeah, they've won.
Okay.
I think they've won their group last
They did,
year.
yeah, they made it
won
to-
their
they
group
made it to
last
the
year.
championship.
Yeah, they made it to the championship. They won their group last year. I think this team knows what it takes to, especially win this group. I think when you talk about it last year, Tyrese Halliburton, you mentioned it earlier that this team basically knows that these games are very important. They understand like high leverage, and that's why they got to the conference finals last year, because that in season experience helps them
yeah,
too.
it definitely helps.
So I think going into it, I think the Pacers are going to be the team that's going to come out of that group. It is going to come down to that Bucks and Pacers game most likely. So I think that those two. I'm not really the biggest fan of Miami. I think especially if Jimmy Butler is not healthy by then.
He rolled his ankle today. So
Yeah, he did roll
you
his
don't know
ankle.
How long he's going to be
Yeah,
out.
so I'm not the biggest. I don't trust Miami. So
He wanted to pick Miami. Look at him.
I'm going to pick Miami.
So
Yeah, I'm going to be a little different than you guys. I think Miami's battle test. I think Jimmy Butler's a tough cookie. I think they're well coached, so I'm going to go with the well coached team. Obviously, you guys, you picking the Raptors, you picking the Pacers. Those are both two good, really good teams. Miami, I think, is just battle tested, and I'm going to go with the battle tested team. I like what Terry Rozier's go. Obviously, we saw them play the Kings. We saw how tough they play. Miami always just has, even if they're no name guys, they play hard, right? So I'm going to go with a well coached team, experienced team, right? They've played in the finals together, most of them at least. So with that group, I'm going to go Miami. I'm going to go Miami with Group C.
I love that we're picking
Group B.
We're picking different teams for each group. I love that. It makes it
Yeah.
more fun.
Yeah.
Group C. In the East, we have the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 10-0
Great
at the time
start.
of this recording.
Great start.
The Atlanta Hawks, the Chicago Bulls, and the Washington Wizards. This,
Very top heavy.
honestly, it's. I think we have to be honest here. It's between Boston and Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think we could both agree on
well,
that.
Unless I crop the bed.
Wait, he is about to pick someone
I
else.
think
the mic is
Atlanta
yours.
will be. I'm not going to pick Atlanta, but we have to watch out for Atlanta because Trae
You
Young.
love Trae
It's a
Young.
Garrison
Trae Young-
Matthews believer right there.
Yeah, Trae Young's a dog. But I think for the sake of it, like I said, it's between Cleveland and Boston. I think I'm going to go with Boston here.
If Boston's healthy, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
If Boston's fully healthy, if Jalen Brown plays, I mean, I don't know when Porzingis
Porzingis
is
is
scheduled to
not till
come back
next year, so he's not
But
gonna
even
be in
then, I think it's Boston's group to lose.
So you guys are Boston? Both
I think
of you?
so.
I'm Boston.
I'm
Safe
Cleveland.
pick is Boston.
I'm running
Yeah.
Cleveland. They beat the War. They were up by 41 points to the Warriors tonight. They're
Yeah.
10-0. They're playing incredible.
I don't hate that. I
They
don't hate
have,
that
I don't hate
prediction
it.
at all.
They have
Yeah.
a deep bench. They're playing great basketball right now, and
Evan Mobley's playing great ball.
I think this is
Great
a great
defensive
time
ball.
for
Incredible ball.
Cleveland to
Shout out USC.
show who they are as a team. And like when they go up against Boston, in the playoffs in 7 games, it's a lot different than going up against them just once. So that's why I'm picking Cleveland. I think
I
they
like
could
that.
win in
Yeah,
one game.
I like that.
But in a series, it's way tougher.
And
So
that's the
why I'm
great
going
thing
Cleveland.
about the in-season tournament. I love that Adam Silver's incorporated this into the NBA seasons because it brings a different mindset out of teams. It's not just a
It
regular.
makes teams better.
Exactly. It's not just a regular NBA season game. The court's different, the crowd's different, the energy's different. So I'm so happy that, Adam Silver brought this.
And it's such
to
a
the
long
season.
NBA season, and like this just
Adds so much excitement.
Like,
I
Yeah.
agree.
So let's talk about wild cards. East. RT, who is your wild card to make it out of the East?
Well, I did say that Boston would win that group, but I think Cleveland will be the wild card.
Okay.
I think that's kind of one of those things where it's just if whatever team in that group C wins that group, I assume will most likely the other team will
Is
be the
Cleveland
wild
a wild card though? At 10-0, are they a wild card or a favorite?
No, because here's the thing though, because I think even though a 10-0 start is very impressive, I think they haven't played Boston yet, so that's going to be a big test.
I think they played them this week, so
I'm just saying. Maybe.
We're going wild
We'll
cards
see.
here.
Tuesday. But I think no matter what, I think whoever wins that group, whoever comes in second is going to be the wild card. I think that's...
I agree. You know what? I agree with you, RT, because I picked Cleveland for
Cleveland
Group C.
hasn't gotten the same respect as Boston yet, for
No,
sure. No matter
dude.
how good their start has.
The media's
you're
not
right,
giving
they
them
haven't
enough
gotten-
love right now.
No.
They're
The
going
league in
10-0,
general, yeah.
which is
the
crazy.
The NBA fans, yeah.
It's a franchise record for them, too, to start a season 10-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my wild card will be Boston since I chose Cleveland. I think Boston will definitely be in the top 4. What about you, Johnny?
I'm going Miami Heat.
Well, no, you
picked them as
Miami
the group
for
winner,
Group B,
though.
so you got to pick a wild card.
For the East in general?
East in general.
I want to pick the Heat again.
So they get two
am I allowed to
spots.
pick the Heat again?
And that's not necessarily how it works, but... So
I'm a believer
So
in the Miami
basically,
Heat.
you think Miami is going to make it all the way, is what you're saying.
I think Miami
The
has
wild
the
card doesn't
ability
even matter
to. I
in
think
your
they have
opinion.
the experience to. If I had to pick a wild card other than the Heat, I'll probably
Yes.
go Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
I'll probably go
Okay.
Milwaukee Bucks. Just
Okay.
because I don't think their 2-7 record embodies their team as a whole. I think they're a lot better than that 2-7 record. I think Dame has played a lot better than he has last year. So I'm going to go Heat 1A, Bucks 1B as far as making it out of that
is the
East.
wild card answer we were looking for.
Yep.
The Heat are a wild card. I mean, even though the Bucks have a worse record than the Heat, I think people favor Milwaukee as a more respectable team than the Heat as
Yeah.
of this moment. So I'll go 1A, 1B with my wild
No,
cards.
that's perfect. Because now that we have our 4 teams from each side, the East and the West, now we're going to break it down to who's making it out the West and who's making it out the East.
God.
Okay. Starting with RT. Who is making it out of the West in the in-season tournament?
Well, I mean, I think it's only right that we say this, but
Speak from your heart.
this is from my heart. This is legitimately from my heart. The Sacramento Kings will make it out of the
No,
West.
that is
With the group that we're in, it's very possible.
No, because then we would go up against like an OKC, a Denver, Dallas,
Yes,
Phoenix type
it's
of team.
very
I think
possible.
we're gonna make it out. We're
Can we
going
all
to
agree
Vegas.
on it? Like, we don't gotta go one by one.
No. Yeah.
'Cause I was gonna say the
that's
Kings, too.
That's anonymous.
Okay.
That's an anonymous pick.
gonna say them, too.
We're all picking Sacramento out the West. Obviously. East. RT, starting again with you. Who is going to make it out the East?
I think Boston's making it out of the East.
Johnny, who's
I'm
making
going
it out the
Miami.
East? Wow.
I'm going Miami. I'm a Miami believer.
Okay,
I think they step up when it matters most.
I'm thinking it's going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Sacramento Kings
I like that.
in Vegas. Those are that's my pick.
The script writers would want that. 2 small market
Yeah.
teams battling it out.
I think that's perfect for
in the Sin City, the script writers would want that.
I mean,
Creep.
some script writers, but the Hollywood script writers probably want LA, Boston, or
But if you want the league to grow and you want small market teams to grow, I think the script writers want Sacramento, Cleveland.
I think script writers Adam Silver, if he was, the playwright, he would move OKC to the East so that Wembanyama and Chet could just play each other in the finals
as much
every
TV
year.
time as possible.
So I think this in-season tournament is such a great thing to happen
For sure,
to the league.
for
I
sure.
love the innovation in the NBA that we're seeing. I think that the NBA in-season tournament courts are cool. I love that we wear our city edition jerseys. I love that we're playing in a neutral zone in Las Vegas, who doesn't have a team at the moment. I think it's perfect. It's a great destination for people to fly all across the U.S. to go cheer on their team. And obviously Vegas is just such an awesome entertainment city in general. So obviously it would be incredible for the Sacramento Kings to be there. We want to go to Vegas this year. We want to make it happen.
bad.
We want to go so bad.
So bad.
We were so close last year. I think this is our year. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to make it out of the East and out of the West. Let us know your predictions and let us know what you think moving forward. Boys,
We want to go to the Sin City.
Let's go.
You better root for the Kings every single in-season tournament game.
Get the King
Tune
Gang
in.
pod to Vegas. Trust me, you want to see
The live show at Caesars would be
us
crazy.
three just meandering throughout the Las Vegas Strip would be comedy.
The vlogs would be crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I know you guys want to see, and that's what we want to happen. So with that being said, that was our predictions and our review of the in-season tournament, and And season and tournament starts right around the corner, boys. So let's frickin' go Kangs.
Let's go.